Keith, it's interesting that you say that about Skenes. We all, I think, agree here that this is what they need to do is try to build around him. And that logic, that idea seemed to underpin Cherington's rationale for what he got in the Bednar trade. He himself, Cherington, said that they had offers on the table that involved a top 75 prospect in all of baseball for Bednar, and they instead went with the Yankees offer that was headlined by Flores, the catcher. I had heard, I don't know what you've heard through the grapevine, that Eduardo Tait, who went to the Twins from the Phillies in that deal, was somebody that they could have had as the centerpiece of a Bednar trade, and it seems that Cherington went with the much closer to the major leagues catching prospect. Just what can you say to all of that, and what do you think about Flores as ultimately the centerpiece of that Bednar deal?
God, I hope that's not true. I really hope they didn't turn down Eduardo Tait to get Rafael Flores. Wow. I mean, I'm kind of gobsmacked at that. These guys aren't comparable. Rafael Flores he's fine. He can hit. I actually think there's some potential there with the bat. I have huge questions about whether he's going to stay a catcher. I do have questions about whether Tait is going to stay a catcher too, to be clear. He's got way more offensive upside. Like, that isn't even comparable. I mean, my God, even if you don't believe in even if you think that, say, Tait is too far away and you don't want to acquire him, fine. You could always pick him up and trade him to somebody else for something else you need that's closer. Right? He's so much more valuable, not in my eyes. I mean, I think that is an industry view. Yeah. The value of Tait relative to the value of Flores, that is not even remotely close.
Jeff Passan said Edglin Perez, who the Pirates got back in that deal too, is a teenager who makes very good swing decisions. Is that your observation of him?
It doesn't matter. He's slugging like 260 this year, right? I had Perez rated extremely highly coming out of the complex league last year. Scouts were really, really positive because it was great field to hit. Now, he is a catcher. There's no question that he's a catcher. But he needs to get stronger. Even in ranking, I had him, I think it's the 6th or 7th prospect in the ranked prospect in the Yankee system coming into the year. I said he's got to get stronger. He's going to have to impact the ball more. This isn't even just about power. So much of being able to hit major league pitching at this point is just having a baseline level of strength to be able to impact the ball enough to keep your batting average up or to turn around good velocity. It's why I never really believed in Nick Madrigal as a top prospect, even when other places were saying he's a top 25 prospect in baseball. I'm like, that guy is swinging a wet newspaper. That does not work in the big leagues. That might have worked 50 years ago, but it does not work now. You cannot look like me and swing a major league bat and end up hitting for average in the majors. And this is where I am on Perez now, where that is so bad. I'm not saying he's not a prospect, to be clear, but I struggle to think of anybody who literally, I think it was 263 at the time of the trade. I might be off by a few points here, but it was abysmal. That guy is so far away from contributing in the big leagues, and now there's just such a huge challenge for any organization, but particularly for the Pirates, where, and I think this precedes the current administration or the current front office, when was the last time they developed a power hitter?